Hey there, Photo Universe. Okay, this is the Photo Universe. It's not a review. Photo Universe doesn't really do reviews. I've come to realize that I tend to give more my impressions of things that I'm using and how I like them and how I implement them. Not so much all the details of what the thing is and the specifications and things like that. For that, I would recommend, before I bought this bag, I went up to YouTube and I checked out the reviews by Such. That's one guy. He's Such, spelt with a 00. If you type in, okay, so what is this? This is the Maxpedition Jumbo Type S. And if you type in Maxpedition Jumbo into YouTube, you'll get a bunch of reviews will come up. Such with 2 zeros is one. That's a really good one. Give you an idea how it fits and how to put it on and how to walk around with it and things like that. And all the specifications and the details. He does a really thorough job. I was turned on to him through Nut and Fancy. So Such is a good guy. He's been he did some running guns with Nut and Fancy. That was pretty cool. And also Mil-Spec Monkey goes into, as a matter of fact, if you go up to the Maxpedition website, they actually link to Mil-Spec Monkey's very detailed review with all the details and specifications of the Maxpedition Jumbo bag up there on the Mil-Spec Monkey review of this bag. So I would recommend checking those out if, after I go through how I'm using it, you find this bag to be something you're interested in. Okay, with that out of the way, this is the Maxpedition Jumbo Type S. And Maxpedition makes about 16 different kinds of, they make about 8 different variations of these Versa packs is what they're called. And the Maxpedition Jumbo comes in the standard Jumbo and the Type S. The difference being the Jumbo is designed to be worn on your right-hand side, and the Type S is designed to be worn on your left-hand side. The bags are identical except they're mirror images of each other. We'll get into that later. So also these bags, particularly the Jumbo, comes in about 18 different colors. This particular color I have on the table here is khaki and foliage green. So these parts are foliage green and the material is khaki colored. I like that because they're both military colors, but you put the two together and they don't scream tactical. At least I don't think they do. If this was pure foliage or pure khaki, it would really look like a military bag. It would look like a khaki bag. And I want to be low profile personally. You can get it in hot pink. They have it in bright yellow. They have it, I mean, bunches of colors. So you can really customize what you want. This thing is not sold as a camera bag. It's sold as a Versa pack, as a alternative to a backpack. It's kind of an everyday carry sort of a thing. Put a bunch of your stuff that you'd like to have with you every day, and it works wonderfully well. This has become my go-to bag, and I find that it took me a while to wrap my brain around these. I saw them out there, and I didn't know what to make of them. I didn't understand. I thought it was some kind of crazy messenger bag. I thought it was a backpack minus a strap. They didn't make sense to me. I was old school. It's like, if I want a backpack, I'll get a backpack. A friend of mine got one of these, and I saw what he was doing with it. I was like, you know, hang on, I need to reevaluate this. It's not a backpack. It's not a substitute for a backpack. What it is an organizer. It's a great organizer. And it's more like a tactical version of Indiana Jones's satchel. And once you realize that, it makes sense, and it really is a wonderful thing. Not only has this become a bag that I look forward to taking with me every day. How I implement this is I tend to, when I'm just running about town and stuff like that, I throw it in the car. And if I'm traveling, being a tourist, etc., I will wear it when I'm walking around. But I love having all this stuff with me in the car just every day. It also did such a great job of organizing stuff that I need on a fairly regular basis that I can never find, like nail clippers, tweezers, antibiotic ointment, that kind of stuff, that it's become my go-to bag at home. Now I know exactly where my tweezers are. I know exactly where my antibiotic ointment is. I know exactly where my nail clippers are, things like that. Also, in here is a bunch of stuff that I always wanted to have with me every day that I could never get organized, particularly like the water bottle. I love having a water bottle with me, and 50% of the time I never had it with me because I forgot it or I couldn't find it or whatever. Now I know where it is, and it always comes with me. So it really is a wonderful thing for that. Furthermore, it makes a wonderful camera bag, and this thing fulfills a few different roles depending upon how I have it configured. So in this configuration, this is my everyday carry bag with a few variations, which I'll go into as I go through it. But I will just show you some of the stuff I have organized in here that I now know where it is. Somehow this thing logically makes sense, and I remember where everything is. That's the beauty of this thing. It's a wonderful thing for getting your stuff organized. So let me go into some of the things that I have put in here, and you'll see how beneficial and helpful a bag like this might be to you. Okay, it's been fantastic for me. This bag is things I've always wanted to carry with me, but I never had a bag to organize them and take with me. So all right, in the top front zippered pocket here in this outside flap, this snap here holds everything. I have this thing crammed pretty full, so this is adjustable, a compression strap in case you don't have it that full. I have it pretty full right now. So, okay, so in this top front flap here, this has become my hearing flap in the sense that I always want to have earplugs with me in case I go to the range, go shooting, whatever. Want to cancel out, so I always wanted to have some earplugs with me. Now they're in here. I got to get a little case for them to make. I got one out in the car, but to make that a little bit easier. And maybe an out, I don't know, something. Anyway, I always, many times, so now my phone rides over here in this pocket, which I'll get into later. And many times I've been out with my wife, whatever, I'm waiting on her to do something, whatever. And I've always wanted to have a pair of headphones with me to listen to some music or to watch a YouTube video or whatever. And you can't hear the phone when you're out and about. Headphones and a smartphone. You obviously need headphones with a smartphone, but I never had a place to put them to take them with me. That's in the outside pocket. Let's go to the phone pocket right now. This is a quick access pocket here. This phone's a little bit bigger than an iPhone, so an iPhone would fit in there. If you have one of those really ginormous smartphones, it's probably not going to work, but that's brilliant. I mean, there's my phone. Now I know where my phone is. I'm not losing my phone anymore. On the front quick access flap here, I have a notepad and a pen. This is one of those pens that Nut and Fancy recommended. It's a Uniball Vision. He recommends the Deluxes. They seem to be the same thing. He recommends these because they don't give you a problem when you're at altitude, when you're flying around, and sometimes I find myself in that situation. So great pilot's pen is what that is. Excellent. Thanks for the tip, Nut and Fancy, as usual. All right, moving on to the side pocket over here. So also, as we see on the side pocket, you've got the Molly webbing. If you want to attach another pouch onto that, whatever, Molly's a great thing to have. In this zippered compartment, now I have, this is an organic equivalent of a Power Bar double dark chocolate. They're pretty yummy. But now I've always got a Power Bar with me. I've got a Streamlight ProTac HL. This thing's about 500, 600 lumens. It's like having a spotlight in your hand. Always wanted to have one of these with me. I carry around a smaller Streamlight every day, but it's nice to have a nice big light you can depend on. Plus there's two 123 batteries in there. I've got Nut and Fancy recommended, and I love it, the Leatherman Juice S2. Can't beat that. Check out Nut and Fancy's review of that. And I have the little Swiss Army knife. A few options in here. Gives me a small blade and things like that. Can opener, bottle opener, corkscrew, that kind of thing. So that's all organized in here. There's another side flap pocket, not flap pocket, but a little flap back there, and that's where these knives hang out. Easier to get in when the phone's not in there. Let's pull that phone. All right. So those just go in there. Flashlight goes in there. Lunch goes in there. Now I've always got that stuff with me. Before I get into the main pocket, I'm going to flip over here to the water bottle area. And this would be my everyday carry configuration. I'd bring a water bottle with me, but this pocket is also my telephoto lens pocket. So if I'm running the configuration where it's a camera bag, check out this clever water bottle retention or lens retention strap. That's paracord there. And if you're not using that and you don't want to use this pocket, you can compress this down and hold that tight, or you can put that up there, get that out of the way. Here's the water bottle, right? If I don't want to have a water bottle with me, or let's say I take the water bottle, throw it in the car, whatever, and lose it as I have been, and I want to run this as a camera bag, let's say I'm being a tourist, there's my 50 to 135 Pentax SDM lens. There we go. Now this is a 1 camera, 2 lens covering, inside the bag I have a K3 with the Pentax 16 to 50 SDM, and now I've got the 50 to 135, so I'm covered from 16 millimeter to 135 millimeter on the K3. If I think I'm going to be doing some more serious telephoto work, yeah, it's always giving you a problem when you're doing a video. Isn't that the truth? This thing goes in and out, no problem. Now the lens hood is getting, this is the first time, first time I've ever had a problem getting the lens hood out. That's always the way videos go. Don't you love it? All right. So anyway, that just slides in and out of there, no problem, except when I'm doing a video. So that's the 50 to 135 SDM. This is the 70 to 200 Tamron without the lens hood, and if I think I'm going to be needing that, I'll just pop that right in there, and there we go. So that's more of a camera bag configuration. I can go with the 10 to 24 Tamron instead of the 16 to 50 Pentax if I think I'm going to be doing some more wide angle work, or if I want to cover wide angle and telephoto but not necessarily the middle range, I could go 10 to 24 and then 50 to 135 or 70 to 200 to get the extreme focal length. So it's really, this is not a large bag. So the fact that I'm getting a camera body and 2 fairly decent sized professional f2.8 zooms in it is impressive to me, and that's more than if I'm going to be needing more photography gear than that, I'm going to be bringing a bigger, a real dedicated camera bag. But for everyday walk around, I can't beat this. So, all right, so back to everyday carry configuration. We put the water bottle in there. Now, top pocket. The top pocket, that just screams sunglasses, doesn't it? And that's exactly what I've got in there, a pair of sunglasses. You could put anything in there you wanted, but for me, now I've always got my sunglasses someplace where they're not going to get lost. So moving into the inside compartment, I love these Domke gripper straps. This is the 1-inch Domke gripper strap. I put these on all my cameras. The only thing I appreciate the fact that the quick release buckles are metal and the D-rings are metal. I've always been afraid of those while I'm carrying my camera, rubbing up against the finish and scratching the plastic or the glass or the body itself. So I always tend to take something, somehow isolate the metal straps from the camera when I'm carrying it, and that's what this weather flap is perfect for. You just kind of fold that, stick the camera in there, fold that down, put that there, fold that over. Now I don't have to worry about those metal buckles, so that's brilliant. And then in here, there's my K3 with 16 to 50 SDM. Perfect. In the main compartment on both ends, you can't see in there, but it's got 2 organizing flaps, and I got my checkbook in the back one, which now I always know where my checkbook is. That has a home now. And in the front one, I've got an oversized bandana, which is kind of thick cotton. That's always nice to have with you. Just as a side note, in case there's I'm in a building and there's an emergency and they're having a fire or something and it's smoky, I can wet this with the water from my water bottle, and I've got a makeshift kind of a breathing mask thing, which, hey, it's better than just choking to death on smoke, right? It may or may not help, but it can't hurt. So got that going on. And then I also stuck in there the strap that there's on the back of this thing. So you've got the main satchel strap there. You see that? That's the main satchel strap there. And then if you want to, let's say you know you're going to be doing some climbing or hiking or whatever, On these two rings here, you can attach this waistband that kind of holds the bag to your body so it's not flapping around out there. And I threw that in here, so that's always with me down at the bottom. The last item I have in the main compartment is, and this was the first piece of gear I bought from Maxpedition. I was really impressed with the quality. This is one of their everyday carry organizer bags. And I turned it into sort of a first aid kit, kind of, and my light's on, so that just turned on when I was fooling around with it. But okay, that's a Preon 2 by 4 7s, and this is 2 AAA battery light LED. Here's that first antibiotic cream with pain relief that I was talking about. That's great stuff. And I've got hydrocortisone cream, I got some Visine, I got some Band-Aids, a bag, some chapstick, my nail clippers that I'm always losing, a pair of tweezers that I've never known where they were, some wound instant bleed stopping powder there, my inhaler, which I need once a year when allergy season around and we have a thunderstorm and the pollen's really thick, and I got some bigger bandages and things like that. Obviously there's some great videos on configuring first aid kits. This is the stuff I use. There probably is some Tylenol or some ibuprofen in there as well, and that rides down in the bottom of this bag. Right at the bottom, perfectly fits in there. It's almost like the bag was made for it. So, okay, we got one more pocket in the front here. All right, in here I've got Nut and Fancy's Ultimate Headlamp. That's a single 123 battery, and that's the Quark Mini 123 riding in the Phoenix headband. Nut and Fancy has a review on that. That's where I got the idea. This thing is fantastic. I take this thing backpacking with me. I just love it, and I love having it with me every day. There are things you need a headband for, a headlight for, that you can't do with a handheld light. Picked up a cheap pair of Tasco binoculars. $10. Might not be the fanciest thing in the world, but you know what? They help me see something, and if I lost them or they got fogged or war, I mean, they're not the last pair of binoculars I'm ever going to own, but it's nice to have a small little cheap pair of binoculars with you. It's nice to have a tactical knife. There's a Columbia River Knife and Tool M1614Z Tanto. Not crazy about the Tanto blade, but it's what I got, and there it is, so it's nice to have it with me in the bag. With the binoculars came a, hopefully that's a microfiber, probably not, it's probably just a cheap pair of felt. Hey, for 10 bucks, what do you expect? But in case I need a lens cleaning thing, I just figured I'd throw it in there. And this last item that I'm going to show you is not something that I every day carry, but it is something I threw in here just to show you that it would fit in this pocket. If I, like next couple of weeks we're going to go skiing over at Sun Valley, Idaho, and it's nice to have a little medicinal purposes there. That's a beautiful 8-ounce Stanley flask. And I got some 40 Creek Canadian whiskey in there. So like I said, this is not an everyday carry thing. This is something I would throw in here if I was going on vacation and I knew I was going to be staying in a hotel for 3 or 4 days and didn't want to pay hotel prices for a little refreshment in the evening before bedtime. So that's what that's for. I have to put that disclaimer in there because otherwise you guys think I'm everyday carrying here. Yeah, this is, look at that. I guess I was hitting it before I did the video. Yeah, this is what I'm carrying every day while I'm driving down the road. No, I'm just kidding, just kidding. All right, all right. So hey, I know I'm going to show some, I found some old photographs back in my flying days when I was working for the airlines before 9/11. And I wanted to just put that disclaimer in there because I know everybody would be saying, oh, pilots, look at that. He carries around 8 ounces of booze with him everywhere. Now, that's not an everyday carry item. That's a vacation item. And then last but not least, which is probably one of the reasons for being of these bags, is this neat back compartment here, which can carry, and I don't carry in here, but they sell a little strap. That's an M&P Compact 9. It fits full-size M&Ps, full-size Glocks, HKs, whatever. So this is a M&P 9C, and if I wanted to carry in there, they sell these little $10 holster Velcros, because that's what this pocket's kind of designed for. I do not carry my weapon in there every day. I do carry a spare magazine in there, which they sell a little Velcro thing organizer for that as well, and that's pretty much all I carry back there. But in the summertime, I could see where, if I didn't want to have a holster on me, and let me jump to this. The reason why this is a Type S and it rides on my left-hand side is so that it doesn't encumber my right-hand side when I have my concealed carry holster on my right-hand side. So I would implement this bag, and I do implement this bag without a gun in this concealed carry compartment, but a gun on my right-hand side, and that's why I got the Type S. However, now that I have this bag and I realize how cool that is, if I'm thinking that there's going to be a low threat level in the summertime and I want to wear shorts and go pretty free and unencumbered, I would carry I would get a regular jumbo, and I would use this bag as a giant holster. Or get the Fat Boy, which is a smaller version of this bag, and use it as a smaller holster bag kind of a thing. But in a low threat situation, because it's not exactly rapid access. This thing is full of clever touches. Okay, up here I've got a Leatherman Skeletal stuffed in this little slot here, but this little slot opens up into that main carry compartment. So if you had a radio with a long antenna, you could stick the antenna up through there, or anything. If you had a long stick-like thing, and I can't think of what that would be, but it gives you the option of sticking something down in there and having it stick through and be able to carry it. So that is the Maxpedition Jumbo Type S, and some of the ways that I'm running it. And since I've gotten this thing, I take it with me every day. I'm thrilled with it. I have lots of camera bags, but none that I have my camera with me every day. I just leave them home unless I really think I'm going to take a photograph. Now, in this situation, I've got my K3 or my K5 or my K5 2S with a normal zoom, professional normal zoom 2.8 with me every day. And that's a cool thing. I've always wanted to be able to do that, but never had a bag that made it convenient enough to pull that off. And that's what the Maxpedition Jumbo or Jumbo Type S will do for you. It's what it did for me, and I'm thrilled with it. So that's it with my tabletop review impressions / implementation of one of the coolest and best thought out bags that I've ever encountered. I have probably 20 camera bags, or bags of this kind of nature. If I'm including backpacks, day packs, things like that, I might have 25, 30 of those. And this is the one. It's the right size and weight. And it's not too big, and yet I have bigger bags that don't organize or carry as much stuff. And that's saying a lot. This thing is a pleasure to use, and I'm really thrilled to have it. I'm glad I finally figured out that these are cool. Because for a long time I looked at these and just shook my head and said, I don't get this at all. I get it now, and I think it's a wonderful thing. So I wanted to share that with Photo Universe. All right, everybody, have a good time, and be good to each other, and have a great holiday season, and make the best of it. That's Ed with Photo Universe. Thanks.